Oh, now we're live.
Okay.
What? What? You want to say something inappropriate before we start? Hi, I'm James Jr. and welcome to the She-Hulk Attorney at Law After Show here on JLJ Media. I almost said AfterBuzz TV. That's just dead. Hi, I'm James Lott Jr. I don't know where the fuck I am, but I'm here with you and my two compadres about to talk about Disney Plus's Marvel series, She-Hulk. Here, well, one person's not here. I'll explain that in a second. But we have Anthony Tupasi and Frank Moran. Hi, fellas.
Hey,
we did
it. We're on to episode 7 and going strong.
How do we going strong? We're on episode 7. We're here today. So John Dunphy texted me. He has been on in 3 or 4 episodes. He is alive. He just was doing Big Brother. He said he was sick today because he thinks he's worn out from all the Big Brotherness he did for the last several weeks. And Frank and I know he got very involved. He watched the feeds. He was watching everything. So I'm not surprised he's worn the F
out. I really think he's just getting a flight to wherever Taylor is.
Yeah, I know where she lives. She's still in LA. I don't know where she lives.
I think she was, I mean, at least what in the intro at the beginning of the season, I think it was Wisconsin, perhaps.
Back to Wisconsin, General Mitchell Airport. Frank knows about that before the show. But he will be back for the finale. Who knows when he'll be back? We'll see what happens. We only have 2 episodes left after this, so maybe he'll join us. We love you. Shout out to Ryan Nielsen, a friend of mine and Frank's, who also works on She-Hulk and also works on the Reacher series. But I just want to give a shout out to him. He called me the other day and said hello. He said he loves our show.
Hi, Kirsten.
So let's make sure I say it to Ron Nielsen, who's also a Star Wars freak like us. I'm putting in, make sure you guys come in, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. If you're listening to us, thank you, podcast listeners, making the show a top 10 hit on a network for me. Make sure that you also like, subscribe, comment, share, not the singer and actress, but share the show with others.
Believe in love.
I'm doing cheap jokes now because that's what this show's about. But go ahead and do that. But thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us on any of your audio podcast platforms. That is Apple, Google, Spotify, Deezer, you know the rest. Where you find us, look under She-Hulk Attorney at Law After Show. Say that 5 times fast. And of course, we're here on the YouTube channel. Here on YouTube, JLJ Media. Hit the little bell. It may or may not work. I'm not sure anymore. But hit it anyway. So when it does work, you know that we're on here for your She-Hulking pleasure. I know it's kind of goofy. All right, so we're going to talk about episode 7 called The Retreat. Overall thoughts of the episode. We'll start with Anthony Tupasi.
I liked it quite a bit. I don't say love it. I liked it a lot. It was a very, it kind of got us back on track. Man, I don't know. Sometimes the show kind of brings me in. It's kind of like a weird date that, kind of just keeps you holding on, kind of like looking at the phone over and over again for that one text. But this one got me into it. Like I said, I wasn't like in love with it, but I really liked it. I liked it. We kind of actually got some sort of continuity here because from last week we got the whole, at the end with the blood thing. And now we go back into that and kind of a fun episode, a little corny at times, but actually kind of committed to some sort of truth, which is good. So I liked it a lot.
Frank Moran.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was good. Yeah. I mean, I felt like the stuff that happened in this episode, especially with Jennifer, it's like stuff I wanted to have happened sooner. Just her emotional journey in this episode. But, we got it now. So we got it now. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll get Daredevil in like season 3. So, at this pace, It's funny. It's funny, Frank. I thought of you. I was like, because usually it's James. I go, oh, that's the cute guy he likes, or that's the lawyer he likes. But this one I go, I bet Frank's going to like some actual Jen time, So I thought of you for sure when they actually gave her like the moment. It was finally her show, for crying out loud, We waited.
Finally, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just the nature of the show and the budget. Because I just think I would prefer it if she was just She-Hulk all the time. But I don't know if many actors would be excited about that role. But who knows?
Well, we're going to go into it, of course, in detail. But I'll tell you what I think of the show.
Oh, do tell.
It's my turn. It's my turn to see what I can see. No, okay. I loved it. This is my favorite episode of the whole goddamn season.
Wow.
I loved it. I know. Here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy. It's like our Andor episode. I fucking love the show. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And everybody's like, it's okay. I love it. This episode was exactly what I wanted. It was exactly what I wanted. It was the right amount of fun and silly, but also had some sad. We'll get into it. Had a semi-serious moment. It was fully Jen.
Yeah.
And I thought about Frank about that too. I thought about Frank about everything, of course. I think about him all the time.
Thank you.
But that's normal. But in this case, what you just said, I wish it was sooner. I wish the series was like this all the time. That's what got me. But this was my favorite episode of the whole season.
Wow.
Surprise, right? So yes.
You never fail to surprise, James.
I know. Hi, everybody in chat room. So we'll start off. I actually loved the opening montage. It's a song. I'm excited to tell everybody because I love this group. There's a song called "Now I'm In It" by Haim. They're three sisters who I love. There's a song called "Pray." I love the song. They're a great trio of girls, very talented young ladies. Let's just say girls or young ladies now. But Haim. But I love that whole sequence. I love the Muppets. Obviously, ABC Disney all else tie-in, of course. Watch the Muppets. They actually, and Homeboy's hot. Josh is hot. I will say that he was hot. When he stood there at the car, I was like, "You're hot." I mean, and then they had sex, and then he
did. Yes.
And anybody who's been dating like I have has been through it so many times. I've been ghosted so many times after a great time that I totally related to it. But I love that whole opening thing that they actually had sex as Jen, which was very interesting to note. It was as Jen. Because it was as She-Hulk. But I enjoyed the whole first part of it. That's everything before we even get to it's just a phone call to go. And what made me laugh, I used to work jobs where we had many break rooms. And that guy pulled out, I mean, you saw what he was eating. He pulled out, I've seen him in break rooms before, the refrigerator foil with cake in it. He was eating cake. I was like, that's just so weird. Like I say, he's just eating cake. I mean, like just like in foil. Like that's such an office-y type of thing to do in a break room. And made me chuckle. I don't know what that meant for anything, but made me chuckle. But that's all first before you get to the retreat. That's the whole first sequence. But I totally understand. Look at the phone. Why aren't they texting? What's going on? I know the whole thing. So all you single folks out there like myself, because these two aren't single, who out there, I know exactly what you feel like. It happens to men, it happens to everybody. Okay. What do you guys think about the first part of this episode?
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I appreciated it. We really just kind of dialed in on Jennifer's story this week, which no distractions, no B stories. This really just kind of dived into her stuff. And, I'm torn. I mean, I guess, we needed to see her kind of go through the stuff that she's done in earlier episodes so that when she does have this moment, we feel like, yes, we get it. You've had this, we've seen it. I mean, if we'd done it 2 episodes sooner, would it have been as effective? I mean, in my head, I want to say yes, because it'd be like, yes, I'd rather have seen that earlier. But I mean, I can see what the writers are doing in terms of pacing it out like this. If that's the case, then I think that just the writing needed to be better, sharper, funnier on all those earlier episodes so that they were still entertaining to watch, even while we weren't getting that emotional kind of growth or catharsis that we were waiting for Jennifer to have until this episode.
Anthony Pazzi.
Oh, I mean, go back to what you were saying, James. Like in the beginning, I related. At one time when I wasn't married, I did have I had those I had those text messages too, no, but I mean, yeah, there was that back and forth and the anticipation and looking at your phone all the time. So I did like that. And I thought too, they kind of, it was a kind of a fast sequence, but it took their time because there was at first, there's the handshake, and then they go to the second part where she kind of goes in before he goes in for the kiss. And then there's the back and forth, and that was fun. I have to be honest with you, I still felt very, after we had established, maybe because it took so long to get to this point, that I was so suspect at that point. Cause I was like, man, it took this long. Why now would somebody just all of a sudden like Jen? And what's funny about the show to me is that I think, well, on this show, we like Jen Walters. We like Jen. And they always seem to, this is the first episode that I remember her actually having the spotlight of just her and her story. So that was a fun thing. And then the retreat. The retreat.
We'll get there in a second.
We'll get there. Okay. Yeah, but the beginning part, the romance and the back and forth was a nice setup for what was coming on to establish, yeah, for sure.
So we'll give them, but Frank, you do get now why they did all that, because later on, obviously.
Yeah. Hooray.
Oh my God, I love it. That's the Frank I know I love. Okay.
He wants instant action.
There you go.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, visually, her making her way through her living room through the day. She's preparing her apartment. Always appreciate a good little well edited montage of, kind of as you pan throughout somebody's living space, and you just see them kind of clipping along the way, kind of preparing it. So, I mean, they're nice little touches, but just let's get to it.
The thing is, she has a nice apartment. I don't know where the fuck she has it, because she's in Los Angeles. So, like, how do you? I mean, maybe she make good money, I guess, but that apartment is spacious. I was like, that living room is like huge. I'm like, I live in a house. My bedroom was not that huge. I don't know what's going on there. I was like, girl, I understand that. But I'm with Frank in the sense that, again, I wish this was sooner, because now, like, this is the series I want. To be very honest, I'm sorry, someone just fired shots outside my window. So now the police are coming, and I'm just being distracted. The helicopter's over my house.
Whoa.
Life in the hood.
Some of the intelligentsia.
It is. They kind of get me. So sorry, I got distracted. All of a sudden, it got really loud for me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's the helicopters!" And the citizen app just told me there were shots fired. So I'm like,
this is what happened when live after shows happen. You never know.
You never know. No, I've had many things happen. I've had my seats drop on me. I had go out. All of a sudden, it goes out. Had that happen. I've had I had the police come once on my door. I don't kind of stuff happen. Oh yeah, I've all kinds of stuff during during the pandemic. Oh my God, all kinds of stuff's happened live. So I'm just like, yeah. But
I killed a man.
I'm trying. You killed a man on live on screen on camera. Big ratings. It was big ratings.
It was the best show.
It was the best show. But no, I went back to the I'm with Frank, because we only have 2 episodes left. It was like, now it feels like you just wasted. Wait, I know not for them it's wasted. For us, it was like you wasted our time with silly shit. And this is exactly what I was talking. This is what I wanted. It was the right amount of ratings. So anyway, okay, so now we get to the retreat, which to me was the best part of this whole thing. We meet Man Bull, who was hilarious. El Aguila, who's not a matador, but he is. Porcupine, hilarious. Saracen, who thinks he's a vampire. Our buddy, of course, he's not the Abomination. He's totally Neil Blonsky at the moment or whatever. And the guy, which I thought that whole sequence was funny. Previously on, that sequence was kind of funny. The guy with the Thundercats or Thunderbolts, or who they were back then. People.
The Wrecking Crew, right?
Yep.
The Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they are. So I just thought this whole sequence is hilarious. Are they people we should know, Frank? Are they people we should know? I mean, we know Man Bull?
Oh yeah, I mean, they're all taken from comics, which is great. Yeah. I mean, all of them: Porcupine, Saracen, El Aguilar, all of them. So it was cool seeing those little more obscure villains or kind of B-list heroes getting their little moment in the sun.
Yeah, they were hilarious. This whole and the whole thing was this therapy session thing. But I jumped when after she realized that something was wrong with his, which we don't know for real what happened, like why. I mean, he may have been trying to play with it, who knows, the ankle monitor. But when they were about to go to the car, and all of a sudden I jumped. Oh my God, I jumped. Like, oh my God. I was like, a pig man. I was like, who's that? My boy. And I just thought it was funny in jokes. Like if I was a matador and you were a bull, we'll be able to you on. I'm like, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Porcupine won't take his mask off. That was kind of funny. I just thought the whole circle and her still trying to check her phone, and I just thought the whole sequence was hilarious. The villains are D-list at best. Okay, Haley.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the one challenge was, and who knows? I mean, I feel like I guess Jennifer, it does play into her, nobody really liking her for what she was, but there are points where I feel like, all right, we get the idea. She's really obsessed with her phone right now, and she's really obsessed by getting a text from this guy. Like we get it. Can we just like move on to the next thing?
See, but Frank, that's life today. Trust me, I've gone through it. Recently, I've gone through it. I'm telling you.
James, you were obsessed on your cell phone?
Yes, for somebody to call, text me back, yes.
How long did it take?
And they did. They didn't. They ghosted me.
Oh,
several times. I know. People ghost me. Or they call back 2 months later. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, 2 months ago, I was great. I'm a total bitch. Doesn't matter. But the whole thing is, that's the point. It's so tiring because you can't help but look at your phone every 5 minutes. So I think they captured that. Actually, you're supposed to be annoyed, Frank. Like you were supposed to be totally annoyed by it because that's like she's looking at the goddamn phone. Like, come on,
Frank.
girl.
Frank, I think what this means is we need to have a meeting with James and we need to Obama stay with him because I feel like that's what you're asking for here, James. Is really just you're.
No. Let me break it down for you all out there. How about Jamie ain't got none in 2.5 years? Can't even get nobody to call back or nothing. So if you can find me somebody, I'll be on you in your debt.
Okay.
I'm very open about that. I like to have somebody. I would love that.
It is weird though that we did have the nice little comedy point of the 7 brides.
Yes.
Once we get to the compound, we saw nothing of those ladies. So
yes.
It became a big dude session.
It's a sausage fest.
There you go.
Yes. And it was hilarious. I just thought it was so. There are lots of inside things there when in terms of the therapy stuff and all that stuff. They had a yurt. It was when we laugh also about that.
Have you been in one, James?
In a yurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have actually.
Did you find it cathartic?
I found it. I got sick actually. No, it really does help. I like later. Here's the question. I think the whole experience I did, I felt cathartic later. I'm not sure the yurt was the only. I turned the point. It was very draining. It was. But I felt a little sick after I did the yurt, so I was like, but they were saying that's your body releasing all the,
the toxins. It's you needed that.
All the anger. Oh, and I had anger.
Because that was a moment where I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's still so much more to mind. Kind of a little bit about the trouble that Jennifer's having, with her Jennifer Walters and her She-Hulk. That I would have been down for just some shots in the yurt as she's kind of just being introspective and you.
But Frank.
Yes.
To you, Frank. We got that monologue though at the circle. Wasn't that enough for you, Frank?
I have to admit, I can't really address because we didn't really see much of her doing anything other than saying goodbye to the group and then just kind of just having a little smile on her face as she's getting back to Malibu or wherever she's heading back to with her car at the end of the episode. So I think like it really needs to be how I see her act in the next episode. If she feels more confident as Jennifer Walters, or she feels like just like more fully integrated of those two sides of her, then I feel like, all right, cool. Yeah, I didn't need that scene. Or I don't, if we're going, but if we're backsliding, we're still like, I don't know. Then I feel like, well, what happened to all that supposed growth we got last episode?
Because I like that monologue, the monologue in the circle where she just talks like just plainly about the whole Jen, the high school, the pretty girl. I mean, I was the pretty girl in high school, so. But that was the whole thing. I understand that whole thing, and she's able to be both, and she wants acceptance for both. I just love that monologue. It's like, again, we got some Jen, we got some inner workings of Jen. So I agree with you. Yeah, if next episode she's like, there's a whole correlation when so Dallas had a dream season, folks. If you don't remember, it was a famous thing where Bobby was in the shower. It was like, I had this dream. And I was like, everybody. So they erased the whole season. One of the things was Sue Ellen was the big drunk on the show, but she had cleaned up during that season. So Linda Gray, the actress, said, I don't want to come back and be a drunk again.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they had to pick up where they left off from the season before that. So she was in a drunk tank, but she sobered up really fast. So that's kind of like the thing with what Frank's saying. I kind of agree. It's like she can't go backwards kind of now because she had this big epiphany, this big retreat. At this point now, that shouldn't be the problem anymore.
Yeah,
it should be now. I'm comfortable with both. I'm going to go forward as both. They each have their place. And I'm with you, Frank, on that. So I just want to give that little analogy. Anthony.
There's a lot of things about this part I really like. First of all, let's talk about that cool retreat he had. Like, nature is me, man. Like,
that's just like yes,
that was. I mean, as a nature guy, I looked and I was like, these trees, the fountains, it's just kind of zen-like place. It was gorgeous. And I liked. I'm sure probably everyone predicted this, but like, I just thought the whole thing. She's going to visit him. She's going to see how he's doing. Why this thing is, off on his ankle. And then she gets there and now she has a reason to stay. And then she's locked there because she has to find signal. And then she finds her way full circle back to this therapy thing. And just, it gave us more, fun Tim Roth being him, this calm state. And it reminded me, actually, I related to this because I go somewhere kind of like retreat, like somewhere far into the forest just to kind of get away. And whenever people come up to like my nieces or my sister, they're on the phone constantly. And I'm always like, let's take a break. And they're like, but there's no signal. I'm like, exactly. There's no signal. So it was a very, very, like, I felt I totally got the Tim Roth stuff. And so I was glad that she was stuck there because we needed that. And it forced her in this position to have to get to actually be with herself, because even though there's all these people, she's really having connect here without having to be this distraction. And this is kind of therapeutic in so many different levels. And we got what we wanted. There was silliness at the beginning with the meeting, but then it starts to the humor actually kind of gets pretty good. And all the characters show up in a way that they are relevant to this whole situation because they have their own issues, right? So I love the sequence. Like I said, the background stuff, the Obama stay, the little inspirational messages in the back, the folding chairs he gets thrown into. It's just it's like an AA meeting, So
I love that. I love that. Yes.
But yeah, it was just a great, but it made sense. It totally made sense in like the whole, why she was stuck there. And the phone thing, it was dragged on quite a bit, but maybe I think we needed to see because it was like she was so addicted to it, and she walked her way all the way back to where she didn't even think she was going to get there. And it was just, but yeah, nature is me, man. And thanks, Kirsten, for mentioning the song.
The song. I just want to tell you, Anthony, your eyebrows look really good tonight.
Well, thank you. I had to shoot this week, so yeah.
They look good. They look good. They look
yeah.
good.
Sorry, I'm blushing.
You got all these eyebrows on the show. Yeah, that's very important.
The rock eyebrows.
Ooh. Oh, the people's eyebrow. I thought it was nice because I feel like you see after the second episode, the big question is Blonsky on the up and up?
Right.
Is the real change, or is he just scamming these 7 women just to get out? And so we get an answer to that, which was cool. So I mean, as of right now, it all seems to be totally legit, and we actually get to see it in practice. Because I feel like the seven brides would be fun just for continuity and just like a little funny recurring bit on that, but to actually see these other dime store villains in there, you see it in action, so you see that he is actually providing a service.
I agree. Then she goes home and it says 3 days earlier, and Josh copies her phone, takes a pic of her, and posts to Hulk King a needle emoji, a whatever emoji, and a thumbs up emoji. Bam! It's over.
Yeah. I have a question about this one because I debated with somebody on this one. So blood was taken?
No, thumbs like this, like thumbs up.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Anthony. I was thinking that same thing too, because did he drug her so she was passed out while trying to get the blood? Because I would think even if you just fell asleep, you would feel a needle being, pushed into you, especially the needle that they showed at the end of the last episode, that big, huge thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like the weird thing too was that needle seemed to be designed to be able to pierce even She-Hulk skin.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it would be like if you try to just use that on a regular human
On a Jen.
being.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he got the blood, and that seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
They asked, is Josh Hydra?
Oh.
It's who knows if it's Hydra, but I mean, I feel like it's going back to the leader and whatever he's going to be up to, since it's been confirmed, I guess, that she's going to be in Captain America: New World Order. So
and he also did the thing with the phone where he laid it on there and got the contacts. He was getting other contacts too. That was kind of interesting.
That's he copied everything.
Like, why did he need all that? Was her stuff or contacts or files on there that he might have needed, or just, I don't know. But that was just interesting.
I guess we'll find out, right? I guess we'll find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she wanted the whatever the name of that singer is that she's representing now. She really wanted
that's right.
Yeah, she wanted
Titania.
these stallions contact info.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we figured out. I figured we get that information later, I guess. But yeah, I don't. I was like, oh, so that's why he's not calling back. Because he got what he needed. But I'm like, but just like, did he sleep with her or did he drug her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they sleep together? Did they not?
It was a nice ending though. It was a good twist. It was almost like an after credit sort of thing. I was like, oh, after we got all this stuff. And I think one of you guys said something about now she can't go back to kind of being down on herself and this whole thing. And I like where this is going. I feel like we've kind of had a cemented, like a real concrete episode here where there is like getting in touch with herself, being the real Jen. And now we have this twist to set up something else really exciting,
But what's crazy is we only have 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
So
and where's Daredevil?
Somebody said in the chat room that said that. It's I'm like this. I'm just like, but though there's 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's left. I mean, what's left? I mean, I don't know what's left.
Are we having a season 2? Do we know that? Or
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything.
No. Okay.
I mean, I feel like probably the first time we'll know for sure is perhaps at the end of the last episode, if they do what they did with Loki and kind of drop the announcement there.
Okay.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel like the season 2 has to progress a lot quicker, just in order to, because it's just you can't do this anymore, with the silly, goofy, more cameos and funny silliness. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, go ahead, James.
But I was just saying, I always say this, I don't know what they consider a hit. So that's something I'm going, I can see a season 2 easily. I can see one. I can not do a season 2 easily. I mean, I don't know what they constitute as a hit on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm not sure what their overall arc is going to be for all this. I mean, it would be great to have a season 2. I mean, because I feel like all the pieces are set in place for what this show could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've fleshed out enough of the law firm people that you can do this. And I think even season 2, cameos are always going to be a part of it, just because the nature of the premise.
Yeah.
It's a law firm and you're kind of poking fun at these kind of more, mundane, obscure parts of the Marvel universe. You're going to be getting cameos. So I feel like that's just something you just got to kind of get baked into it. But the one thing is like, hey, let's not lose. And maybe I won't have that struggle with Jen if she's just a more unified person. Then if she's just Jen, then then her integrated self, then you can just write to that and everything else would still work. But let's see.
They're saying Thursday is the start of New York Comic Con.
You're heading out there, right, James?
For research for this show.
Yeah.
I expect nothing less.
I'm like, no. And then Hayward says, mentioning, does Matt show up next week? Not Hornhead, you saying?
I guess I don't know if they've really said, like, is he just in one episode or is he in 2 episodes and one is as Matt and one's as Daredevil? Yeah, nobody's really said that. I mean, it seems like the talk has made it seem like it's just supposed to be 1 episode, but could be cool if he shows up maybe at the end of 8 and then he's in 9.
Hayward Song said he's going. Well, you live in New York. Where's she going? I live in Los Angeles. I'm making my way out there.
But you're close to the airport, James.
Like, literally, I am close to the airport, yes. But
walk on over. Take your private jet, the GLJ Media one.
Yes, exactly.
I've seen it.
Yeah, fuel that thing up, man. Call your guy.
Call your guy.
Oh my God. Well, hey, get a jet ready. I'm coming. Yes, folks. I don't have a private jet. Trust me, I don't have one. But I do live in the airport. So yeah, he's going. They want everybody will see Daredevil. I have a feeling we're going to see him. Obviously, they're not going. I think they're not going to disappoint. We're going to get him. I mean, it's the question is when we see the Hulk in the next 2 episodes. We haven't seen him in a while, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. I mean, I could see that one being delayed as well because I thought that we would get something with Blonsky, but it seems like this episode is kind of like, hey, Blonsky's on the up and up, and there's no real big imperative that we need to check back in on him again this season.
I have a question. What will we have any of these guys, these D-listers, as Haywood would refer to, and Blonsky and Hulk, are they going to come out as Wongers? Is he going to come out in one of these episodes when she gets in real trouble? And will they come to her rescue or, team up or something, or will she be on her own?
Yeah, I don't know. I would be curious. I feel like she'd probably be alone.
Yeah,
in her show, but if she's going to be in the new Cat movie, I maybe that's her first foray into the larger superhero universe.
Yeah.
And then I've also heard talk that there's supposedly going to be like a World War Hulk series.
Movie, wow.
Based because supposedly the leader, now that he has Jennifer's blood, starts making his own Hulks. And,
wow.
So.
You get a Hulk, and you get a Hulk, and you get a Hulk.
Wait, Oprah's in the movie? Wait, is this breaking news? Hold on, I knew it.
Get away Hulks. You're like, you get one, and you get one. Under your seats, you all get a Hulk.
She's in charge of the whole operation. Makes sense.
Yes. That would be hilarious if she really was. I'd take that. Yeah, Oprah's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be cool if they gave us a chance to get Rick Jones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he also got doused for a while and had Hulk powers. So it'd be interesting.
I want Rick James in there.
Oh,
you're right. Give it to me, baby.
He's dead. He's Deadsville. So that's not happening.
Well,
you
had to bring that up. What are you talking about?
Julio
now?
Though, James, maybe he's still alive there.
That's she's with Tupac and Elvis. They're in Coachella. Well, folks, that's it. We talked about the show. I mean, that's literally it. But to me, it was. They're saying yes, we have not seen Rick Jones in the MCU. They also said it's the ELQ jet. So the GH people know what he's talking about. Yes, ELQ jet. I'm a quarterbain. Thank you.
It's the JLJ jet.
The JLJ jet. That's what I like that better.
One day I'll get to ride that. Yeah.
One day I'll get there. If you want to buy me a jet, fans, go ahead and cash at me, and I will.
That's on the wish list, by the way.
It's on my Amazon wish list. A real jet. That's on there. So let's go ahead to Amazon JLJ.
And if you don't have the money, just buy the fuel. So either way.
Buy the seats, whatever. Just we'll piece it together. Kids.
Buy the champagne that comes with it. I don't know,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yes, exactly. But
I know as we're wrapping up here, I did think like that last little bit where it takes its creepy turn. I think I would have enjoyed it better if they had moved it into the credits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But they stopped doing that. It seems like they stopped doing that.
Yeah. And I felt like this little thing was just like the perfect nugget you would drop in because you feel like you're ending the episode on a note where she's like, all right, I've got all this, and we go to credits thinking everything's great. And then boom, you slam into like, haha, not so fast.
Yeah. I agree with you, but they didn't.
So, thanks again for consulting me, Marvel.
I could have made this 10 times better.
Exactly. 10 times.
I could have had James even love it more.
So I like the episode, folks. Yeah. I'm not really that picky. It was really good. And I'm very impressed.
Yeah. So, and I will say though that I do like, again, the end credits. I think they are my favorite end credits of any of the MCU shows. Just because the art in there is great, but then they also do fresh panels for just little comedy bits from whatever is in the show.
Yeah.
So seeing Porcupine trying to dry clean his costume and stuff.
Yes.
Great. So
JD Matador.
that's
That was great.
I actually put them. I have Man-Bull and El Aglia as the thumbnail. I like them together. Well, they're like funny.
there you go.
They're the
Codependent.
thumbnail for the show. This time. No She-Hulk for the thumbnail this time.
No,
How
for,
ironic
no.
is that? Yes. Right now, yes. Okay, bye everybody. We'll see you next time. Next Wednesday, we'll be here. Or
Yeah.
Thursday today. Thursday. Next Thursday.
Next night, yeah. Friday. right?
Yes,
Frank tells me Friday.
it
He
is
always
Friday.
It's
Isn't it?
Thursday, folks. Andor is Wednesdays at 7. She-Hulk is Thursdays at 8.
Well, what's Fridays at 8 then, Jay?
Nothing right now.
Oh.
Next week, I actually have a video. I think you're in it, Anthony. I have, or something's coming up at some point. I don't know what's going on. 8,000 things are going on. I don't know what's going on, but nothing's happening for you, Frank, on Friday.
Well, that's typical.
I said, like, you're not doing anything on Fridays, Frank. That's nothing.
Thanks for reminding me.
I know. That was like totally crazy. But